Welcome, everybody. We are on day 2 of the Healthy for Life Challenge. I'm super excited for today's topic, which is crush your cravings. Because let's face it, cravings take us down the wrong path for so many reasons. When we want to drop the pounds or just be healthy, as we were talking about yesterday, the food industry is out to take us down. They have all the things with salt and sugar and wanting us to keep on an unhealthy bandwagon, maybe instead of a healthy one. So today we're going to dive into all of that. I'm super excited to get started. So I will share my screen and we will jump in. All right, so let's pull up the PowerPoint. So welcome, everyone. We are getting started with crushing your cravings and late night snacking. My name is Sue Ann Hickey. For those of you joining live or watching the replay, I am a naturopath located in Montreal or just west of Montreal. And some people might ask, like, what's the difference between a naturopath or a nutritionist or a dietitian, which is an excellent question. As a naturopath, we look at globally everything that's going on. So we look at your cravings, we look at your digestive system, we look at your emotional eating, your stress management. We're looking at the liver. Is the liver congested? Are your hormones balanced? Everything holistically that plays a role in your health, whereas a dietitian might only look at diet and what you're eating. As a naturopath, we look at everything. And I just love what I do. You know, each time I get on a call as a naturopath, what I am doing is playing the detective. So I'm trying to figure out, number one, what's your body type? Because that's my passion, figuring out someone's body type. And then also, what is the cause of what's going on? So what is the cause of whatever ailment you are having? Causes of your cravings, causes of migraines or digestive issues. It's fascinating to me to find out sometimes rather quickly of the cause that might be going on, which could be a food intolerance, which many clients have tried so many different things and have not been able to heal their ailments naturally, and we can pinpoint it so quickly. So that's my passion, and I'm best known for the body type plan. You see the first slide is always my favorite topic, the body type plan, which we will be diving into tomorrow. All right, so let's get going here. And yesterday rather, we were talking about real whole foods and eating real whole foods. Why? Because they are filled with all the nutrients that keep us satisfied a long time. Key number one, staying satisfied a whole long time with all these healthy foods will reduce your cravings. And we'll go into that in a little bit more detail today. So, one of the Canadian Food Guide recommends that we have 7 to 10 fruits and vegetables every single day. So why would they say, like, that's a really high amount? I don't know about you, but I don't get that many. I wish I did, but sometimes when I have a smoothie, then I can add in a few more, a few vegetables at lunch, a few more at dinner, some fruits here and there, but it's hard to get up to 7 to 10 fruits and vegetables every single day. And the reason is because by eating that amount, then you start to get in the vitamins and minerals that you need for your day. So, sometimes we need to take supplements in order to up the amount of vitamins and minerals that we're getting. But it's so important to eat more of our real whole foods, where we get all of these things you see in front of you. The enzymes, we get our digestive enzymes from all of our raw vegetables. Healthy fats is so important to keep us satisfied, as well as protein keeps us satiated a long time. Fiber to keep us regular. Antioxidants are those powerful nutrients that help keep us strong and fight against all the diseases like cancer and autoimmune disorders. So eating real whole foods fights against all those. They are alkalinizing. So what does that mean? A lot of foods like sugar, white flour, A lot of different foods are acidifying for the body, and when the body is acidic, it can be more weak. A lot of our dark leafy greens are really alkalinizing for the body, so that's really excellent for our health. And they're delicious, right? So we want to eat whole foods. So today we're diving into cravings. We're going to look at some physical causes of cravings that you might not have thought about. We're going to go over 3 steps to stop sugar cravings that also a lot of people are going about that the wrong way. We're going to look at the cravings are either from emotional causes or nutritional deficiencies, like I was just mentioning, right? The more nutrient dense our food is, the fewer cravings we have. Physical hunger versus emotional hunger, and overcoming late night snacking will be incorporated in a lot of today's talk because all the good things that you were going to do will help with that. And we'll talk about each body type and the challenges that they have in a lot of these things. All right, let's forward the slides. Click. Let's try here. All right, yes, we're moving on. So physical causes of cravings, let's look at some of those. So the digestive system, often I have clients when they come to see me, their digestive system is compromised. So they might have various challenges going on, Crohn's, colitis, IBS. One thing to note is that the digestive system and the nervous system go hand in hand. So often when I see clients that have challenges like inflammation, it's so often caused by stress or food intolerances, or of course, there can be many other causes. But if your digestive system is not working well, if you have diarrhea from time to time or often, that means the nutrients are going right through your body and they are not being absorbed by the body. So you're going to be depleted, you're going to be tired, and cravings could be higher because you're not absorbing the nutrients you need. So it's essential to have a digestive system that's working optimally. And ideally, as it says, digestion should go by unnoticed. By that, I mean, it's normal to have some gas sometimes, but we shouldn't have pain or cramps or, our digestive system should just be working without our even knowing that it's working. So that's the ideal situation. Adequate sleep, of course, is something that plays a huge role in our health overall, but also with our cravings, right? When we're sleep deprived, when we're exhausted, when we have a lot of insomnia, if we've had a lot of challenges with usually an overactive mind. I don't know about you, but sometimes my mind can be way too overly active at 1 o'clock in the morning. My to-do list pops into my head and off we go to the races, and sleep is not going to happen. But when we're overly tired, I'm sure we've all experienced that. Not only are we irritable, but we're just have a hard time overcoming cravings and staying on track with healthy eating. All right, so stress, of course, increases cortisol. I see in my practice often people that might have different ailments happening, cravings, whatever, skin conditions, headaches. They go on vacation, all their symptoms miraculously disappear. Even some that lose weight while on vacation, not often, but sometimes, because their stress levels are gone and their body is so relaxed that the weight comes off more easily. So when we have extra stress, we can be having more cravings, our appetite can be higher, and we can be looking for more fatty foods and things like that. So the main thing to ask yourself, and I ask this to my clients, how do you manage your stress? Because we need to come up with a list of things to do that we can use when our stress meter goes through the roof. And I'll always remember one client, a couple of clients, when I asked them that question, one of them said, well, I yell at my kids, or I drink wine, or I eat. Why do you think I hired you? So those are called maladaptive coping mechanisms. And what we want to do is come up with Maybe it's calling a friend, going for a walk, listening to calming music, using essential oils like lavender. There's so many different things we can do. Yoga, meditation. You need to find your own list in order to better manage your stress, because stress eating is a real key, right? A real problem and challenge. And when we are stress eating or we have cravings, we're not usually going to reach for the broccoli. We're going to be reaching for something. Sometimes we'll reach for something crunchy if we're frustrated. Sometimes we'll reach for something sweet if we're sad or lonely. So it's interesting to note that different cravings come from different emotions. And as I said, we'll go into that as well. Hormonal imbalance, we've all experienced PMS and cravings that go through the roof before our cycle, menopause challenges as well. But there are so many things that you can do to help balance your hormones naturally. Will be doing a presentation I've done in the past about how to do that, whether you're experiencing your period still or in menopause. There's many, many things to do to balance your hormones. One thing that works amazing for PMS cravings is taking a simple complex B vitamin and then adding in a vitamin B6. This will help a lot of PMS symptoms, and it's really good for PMS cravings as well. So I always recommend you get your vitamins from a really good quality company. Don't buy things like in the dollar store or the pharmacy is not as good quality. I use a company called Nature's Sunshine. They're amazing. They're in the US and Canada. So if you want more information about how to get, I think it's 25% off, they offer the retail value and free shipping, just by all means, reach out to me. But we can take these vitamins. So the complex B, I would take all month long. And the vitamin B6, you can take it just the 2 weeks leading up before your period. So from about mid-cycle to before your period, you don't have to take that every single day. And that can really, really help alleviate PMS cravings. One thing to note, often it's sugar that we crave before our periods. And what is the main thing to reduce in order to balance your hormones? Sugar, go figure. It's interesting how the things that are most beneficial for us to do are sometimes the opposite of what is going on. We are creatures of habit. So another physical cause of cravings that very few people know about, but that I see so often in my practice, is candida. So candida is simply an overabundance of yeast in the body. So a little bit about candida. If you've taken antibiotics repeatedly, even if it was when you were a child, what happens is the antibiotics, we need them. They take away all the bad bacteria, but they also take away a lot of the good bacteria. And that we always have some yeast in the gut. It's normal and natural. But when the bacteria is all gone, then the yeast takes up a little bit too much space. And then what happens is we get Candida albicans, which is just simply too much yeast in the body. So some of the symptoms of Candida are here. Sweet and carb cravings can be through the roof. Bloating, especially when you eat foods that might feed the Candida, such as sugar or wheat, things like that. Foggy brain, not feeling clear. Really, a lot of fatigue can be there. Depression, intestinal gas. There are other symptoms that some people might experience as well. Some people might have toenail fungus. Some people don't. Some women might have yeast infections. Some have none, just because it's only in the gut. It is possible, absolutely, to get rid of Candida. I've helped dozens of women completely transform their life when they do the Candida cure. You have to follow a pretty strict diet and take the supplements to kill off the Candida. If you think you have these symptoms, by all means, reach out to me. My plan works. If you go online and look up Candida, you'll see thousands of different protocols, all contradicting each other. So if you feel you might have Candida, I'd be happy to help. So another thing we need to look at for cravings that people might not think of is hypoglycemia. So the main question to ask yourself is, how do you feel if a meal is delayed? If you answered, I feel like shaking or trembling or dizziness, you might get a headache, you might have brain fog, you feel irritable, you can't think at all, or the hangry, that would be me. This can indicate that you have hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. So what happens when we go too long without eating? Eventually our blood sugar starts dropping, and all these physical symptoms can be there for some people. For myself, it's really just the irritability, right? My fiance will tell you, if Sue-Ann is hungry, stand back, open the fridge, give her something to eat right away. So, with hypoglycemia, we can be craving sugar to spike ourselves back up. What we really need is protein. We need protein at breakfast, protein at lunch, protein at dinner, healthy snacks in between, so we don't go too long without eating and we don't go into that crash. So again, I've helped, a lot of people balance their hypoglycemia. And, when we look at the body type plan on Thursday, we'll be talking about that as well, because no matter what body type you are, if you have hypoglycemia, we need to balance the blood sugar first, and then after you go on to eating right for your body type. So cravings in different body types, it's fascinating to me when I'm starting with my clients, and the main question I ask to determine their body type is, if you could eat anything at all, what would you eat? So I invite you to put in the chat box, what would you eat if you could eat anything at all and you didn't have to worry about if it's good for you or not? Because there should be, everyone has a completely different answer. So anyone want to offer some suggestions in the chat of what kind of things you would go towards? Sometimes it's chips, or sometimes it's French fries, or I had like liver and onions, steak, burger, fries, so many different answers. But each body type tends towards different cravings. So, are you shy? I'm not seeing any. Oh, here we are. Ice cream. Yes, ice cream often comes up a lot, right? So as I was saying, for the different body types, chips, yes, of course, salty. So there are two body types that crave more salty in general, because as I said, there's so many different examples of different cravings people have. So the gonad or pear-shaped and the adrenal or apple-shaped, they tend to crave more salty. And the thyroid body type or pituitary, they tend to crave more sweets. So that's one of the tools I use in figuring out someone's body type, is to ask them that question. The pear-shaped body type have these different types of cravings. Generally, it's like cheese and creamy sauces. Like when I ask what favorite pasta sauce they would eat, it could be Alfredo. And other people might like the gonad type might be spicy or fatty or fried. Sometimes they like sweets as well. Natalie is saying she's a gonad type and she craves salty. So yes, there you go. So the pear shape, they can have cravings at night. And why is that? They often, and I tell them, you need an early dinner. They're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen at night? Won't I have cravings at night? When you're following your body type plan, you should be feeling more balanced and you shouldn't be hungry at night. For the pear-shaped or gonad type, they are the motherly giving type. So they're often giving all day long, whether it's to their family or their work. They might be, part of the helping profession. They might be taking care of their pets or their friends or their aging parents. But because they're giving all day long, sometimes at night, they might think that they need a craving when what they actually might need is to fill back up their own cup. Right? We can't pour from an empty cup. We've all heard that expression. So for the pear shape to do what it takes to give back to themselves or get some affection, like hug their kids or their partner, or have some playtime with their pets, call a friend. filling up back your own cup will help keep the cravings at bay, because you might notice that it might actually not be hunger. It might be just something that you need a little bit more time for you. All right, so Darlene says she's a pear shape and she has cravings at night. Okay, so confirming. Yeah, and I have the quiz, so it doesn't give you your exact type because the quiz is like 11 questions, pretty hard to determine someone's body type, but it will tell you you're either like a sweet type, as I said, or a salty type. So then you can probably narrow it down yourself. Now, the sweet, I'm a thyroid type, so definitely sweets are my thing that I have to be very careful from. Given the choice, I would just eat granola and toast and sandwiches, like carbs, right? And chocolate and things like that. The thyroid type is often looking for stimulants because we want to be spiked up and spiked up. So we'll go, sugar. I don't drink coffee, fortunately, but yeah, things that spike us back up, and definitely the sweet things we will crave. For the pituitary type, I need to mention that the pituitary type, you might think, I think I'm a pituitary type because I gain weight a little bit all over, kind of like baby fat, but it's very rare pituitary types. I've hardly seen any in my practice. So if you think you want to lose a few pounds and you feel overweight and you think I gain weight everywhere, think back to when you first started gaining weight. That will give you more of an indication. You might be a gonad type or an adrenal type. And that being said, the shape of the body is only one aspect of how to determine your type. We'll go into all that on Thursday. So they crave more creamy things, sherbet, cottage cheese, honey, cookies, things like that. And finally, the adrenal type, they are the strongest of all four body types, and they can often say, I just love food, and they do. So portion control can be a real challenge for them, and stress management is key. So here we have another key for our body types and how it influences our cravings, because the adrenal type might tend to eat when they're stressed. So knowing that is part of your body type, how can you do all the things, as we were mentioning, to better manage your stress? They generally like salty, but they can go towards sweet as well. They're not fussy. They can like their wine or alcohol because that makes them feel strong. But some don't drink alcohol at all. There's always exceptions to the rules. So, sugar symptoms, if you are sugar sensitive, and I think this is also an epidemic in our society, right? There's so many sweets available everywhere, sugar everywhere. And I know I was on the sugar roller coaster before I learned how to eat right for my body type. So it can cause all these things, depression, obviously. What goes up must come down. The sugar highs and lows, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality, impulsive, short attention span, super reactive, scattered, and craving the carbs. So what a lot of articles that you read and I see, they say, if you have sweet cravings, then eat fruit instead. But wait, yes, a fruit is super healthy, and that might help a little bit in some circumstances. Obviously, it's better to eat an apple than a chocolate bar. But if someone is really, really craving sweets and they're stuck in that roller coaster, if we eat like fruit or dried fruit, it can keep us craving the sweets. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process to curb your sweet cravings. Number 1 is to eat more protein, especially at breakfast. Now, this was a game changer for me because I was really addicted to my cereal for breakfast. When I started my classes to be a naturopath, I was super stubborn. There is no way you're taking away my cereal. And it took me so long, literally weeks, as we kept on learning all these things about eating right for your body type, for me to finally say, okay, I'll try it. So I changed my breakfast to eggs a lot more often, or I eat yogurt, very high protein, and I feel balanced all day long. So that is key to balance your blood sugar. 2, a lot of people don't know, if you drink more water, that is a really helpful thing to balance your blood sugar and help your sweet cravings go down. Again, I've noticed that firsthand was really beneficial for me. And number three, I know you don't want to hear this, but we really do need to reduce the sweets because it is an addiction. I'm sure we've all experienced this. Say you go through Christmas here, I make some shortbread cookies and some cookies. My fiance's kids come over, so of course, good excuse to make more sweets. And then you eat them for a few days, and then you just run out, and then your cravings are still there. It's like, oh, I want something sweet, right? Because it affects the brain like opium does. It really is an addiction. So those are three things that can help you get over your sweet cravings. So now let's dive into about physical hunger versus emotional hunger. And I think the challenge with so many diet plans is they don't even touch on this, or they're lacking in so many ways. So for me, this is so important because too many people think if I just follow this diet really carefully, then I will be fine. And, I will be able to lose the weight. But wait, if we don't address the underlying reasons, usually emotional, that the habits are there, then the habits will come back after we finish this overly restrictive diet. So we need in our body, a few more things about the physical aspect of it, healthy fats. When we have healthy fats, as we were talking about yesterday, seeds, nuts, avocados, salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, all these healthy fats, when we eat them and our body is nurtured and we're getting all the nutrients of healthy fats, you won't crave as much the unhealthy fats like we find in chips and French fries and things. Another thing is sodium. So if we're getting celery is super high in organic sodium and digestive enzymes as well. So, if you can have salt, the body needs salt. Some people, think I'm cutting out salt completely because I crave it. But wait, our bodies are salty, right? Our tears are salty. We need to replace the salt, especially when we're sweating a lot and things like that. So the best salt, in my opinion, is a sea salt that comes from France. It's usually light gray in color. There's different kinds of salts that you'll get depending on where you live in the US or Canada. But this salt is beneficial to high blood pressure. It's beneficial to the body. It's naturally dried in the sun. You can see a little picture of the guy. He's got a rake. That's what they do still. They spread out the salt in the sun and they turn it over with a rake. And it's a nice moist. So you actually can't put it in a salt shaker. We keep ours in a little container, take a little bit at a time. And it's so good for the body. So again, you have some salt in your diet, you won't be craving as much your unhealthy, salty foods. There's also a lot of people ask me about Himalayan pink salt. So the thing to know is that salt is good for you when it has color. So either gray or pink is great. And white refined table salt, not very good because it is refined. I prefer the sun-dried Celtic sea salt. So emotional cravings, let's go into this a little bit more. So how do you know if you are emotional eating? I won't read all of these, but if you're watching the live, you can take a screenshot or the replay and you can go through these questions. Usually, hunger comes on fast. You're like, I need to eat this now. And all these different things. If you're upset, as I said before, do you feel guilty after you've eaten something? Sometimes I just have to have that certain type of food. And most of us will answer yes to a few of these. And I think everyone has done emotional eating in their life at some point or other. It's part of being human. So what kinds of things can cause emotional eating? Sometimes people tell me at night, I'm just bored, right? I eat, I've had clients in the past, I sit on the couch with my husband and we watch TV and I'm just bored. So maybe your boredom has something to tell you. Maybe you miss someone or something. You hunger for a greater satisfaction of life than you now possess. Or maybe it's signaling you to do what really interests you instead of what you believe you should do. Maybe some people are telling you you should do this or that. Maybe that's not what you want to do. So it's important to, question yourself in the moment and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? What is, use your awareness of what is going on, because if food makes you temporarily happy, what a powerful narcotic it has become, right? So we have to see the entire picture in today's handouts. In your email, you got a little emotional eating journal that you can use. And this can be super helpful. So I invite you to download it, print it out, and use it over the next week, because you will probably notice over time that there's a pattern. Say there's like someone at work that's constantly pushing that button, and every time he or she does that, you're like, I need sugar, I need something, or, someone at home might be triggering you. There's so many different reasons that can come up when we're triggered. And the first step is awareness. So keeping that food journal can be super helpful, writing down the emotional causes of what's going on. And then what can you do? What are the next steps that you need to do to help that? Because often our feelings are a protection from pain, and it might not be the case of what's going on now, but often we have triggers from childhood, right? As I was saying yesterday, not all of us had perfect childhood. And so there can be things that are said or done that are triggering us, like we're don't even realize it. It might be completely unconscious, but we're back. We're like 6 years old again. And, we're being criticized by one of our parents, maybe, or we're being bullied by a sibling, or so many different things. And we're triggered right back into that instance without even knowing it. So it's so important to work with a professional to help uncover all this and really heal it in order for long-term healing to take effect. I love this slide. I don't know if you can relate. As I said, I have a very overly active mind, so especially at night. But yeah, someone told me that yeah, I have a very overly active mind. I think a lot. I have to get out of my head and rest more often. So easier said than done about feelings come and go, right? I want to bring up one of my clients who was 19 years old. And she was struggling with her boyfriend. They often fought, and she'd be so upset, and then she would overeat. And I was seeing her weekly, and after, a week, she came back and she said, had another big fight with my boyfriend, and I was so upset. But I didn't overeat, and I just sat with it, and I was sad for a while. And then after it kind of went away, and I realized that, feelings come and go. And I was like, ah, hallelujah. If more people could realize that, there would be a lot less addictions and challenges in our life, right? Because often we're using a substance or food or alcohol or shopping or overwork, in my case, or different things to numb the feelings, right? So if we can realize that feelings aren't going to last forever, and that they can come and go, and we can ride the waves without reaching for something to help us feel better temporarily, then that can help us so much. If you're familiar with John Kabat-Zinn, he is someone who was kind of a pioneer for mindfulness, even though mindfulness has been around a long time, of course. But he really helped a lot of people who had chronic pain, chronic huge stresses, people that the doctor said, we can't help these people anymore. And he was talking about using mindfulness in order to overcome these really challenging situations. So there's always a slight gap in between our thoughts, right? Very, very slight. And often, as I was saying, we can be triggered by things, and we're just off, like that knee-jerk reaction. So if we can take just a millisecond in between, oh, here's this trigger again. Instead of having this huge reaction, I'm going to breathe for a second and learn to respond to this situation. That can be so helpful. And again, it's a muscle that we need to develop. It's something we need to practice. For myself, how do I keep on eating healthy and avoiding my cravings and not succumbing to them every day? As I said, I'd just rather eat granola all day long. I focus on my health and how I want to feel and how I want to live. This is a recent trip a couple of weeks ago, went to Brazil, and we had such a great time. This was a big hike we did up to this lookout point, about 8 miles, but it was very steep going up and very hot. So I'm no spring chicken, but I feel so fortunate that I have my health, that I can go on hikes, that I can enjoy all the sports that I love to do because I keep on eating right for my body type and keep on eating healthy. It's important also to think of the benefits, right? So sugar really affects the skin. It's super aging for the body. When I, was learning everything I could about healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, back in the day, 1990 was when I first started on my journey of learning everything I could about nutrition, healthy eating. And I also had candida, so I had to do like sugar-free while I did the cure. So for me, afterwards, I never ate much sugar again, and just feeling so good and so much better without it because it really ages the skin. And there's so many detrimental things that happens to the body with too much sugar. It's also an age-inducing hormone, right? So our breakfast, we hope it doesn't look like this. If you can, we need to create more time for fun and be aware of that negative self-talk. We can call that negative self-talk Harriet, give her name. Often Harriet has been driving the bus for a long time, right? And she's like, you can't do this. Why do you think you can do this? You couldn't do it last time. Why do you think you can do it again? Look at that person. They're doing it way better than you. And on Harriet goes, right? So Harriet's been driving the bus for a long time, and it's time to unhinge her fingers, take her off the steering wheel, throw her in the back of the bus, or better yet, throw her off the bus to reduce that negative self-talk and start driving the bus yourself. When you catch that negative self-talk, switch it for positive self-praise. Each time you do it, you'll be getting stronger and it will get easier, I promise. I really believe that for all of us, we all are here on healing journeys. We have so many lessons to learn. And until we learn that lesson, we will be given the same thing over and over until we finally get the lesson, get the check mark, and then we'll have other things to learn. So it's really a healing journey. And as long as we're on the path, it's a way of moving forward to a happier, healthier life every single day. Important to keep indulgent food away. One of my women in the membership, she was saying, I'm struggling with eating chips. So my question was, well, who brings the chips into the house? Thinking, maybe it was her husband. And she's like, well, I do, of course. I'm like, well, can you stop bringing the chips into the house? If the chips are there, they'll be calling your name, right? In the middle of the night or whenever it is. And sometimes we say, well, I need them for the kids, or other things come up. So it's important to try not to have them in the house. For my fiance and I, what I did when I moved in, now he's eating fewer chips because he had to be careful of his cholesterol. But I said, if you're going to have them here, I want them hidden. I don't want to know where they are, the garage, the basement, anywhere, but keep them out of sight for me because I will just go and eat them. So I think it's important to try and keep indulgent food away. Eat the colors of the rainbow to nourish your body. All very important to, again, overcome cravings. Natalie has a little question for Candida. Yeah, you can message me after and send me an email if anyone is interested in how to go about overcoming Candida. Just send me an email and I can go over that with you. So I think that we should never diet or deprive ourselves when we go and do something too rigid, too strict. It's not sustainable. Tomorrow, stay tuned. We're going to be going into everything about how to have your carbs and eat them too, and drop the pounds you want to. It's going to be playing a lot on things that we mentioned today and yesterday, healthier alternatives. So I hope you join us for that. And it's going to be a lot of great information tomorrow as well. This is Anna. She is a medical doctor living in Spain. And I worked with her. She had a lot of salt cravings, adrenal body type. And working with me, she was doing the opposite actually of what was best for her body type. She was trying to eat a really big breakfast, because that's what a lot of people say, eat a big breakfast. And then she was trying to eat a really small dinner. And then she was hungry and snacking all night long and craving foods, and wasn't working for her at all. And so when she started eating more for her body type, that stopped. She was eating a better dinner, increasing her nutrient density of her lunch and dinner, and she dropped 20 pounds, felt so much better, referred me others. It was great working with her. Lesia is another woman. She's a gonad type. She's a busy mom of 4, entrepreneur, didn't have time to exercise week by week. She was just, a lot of her kids had big challenges, so a lot on her plate. So even without exercise, just following her gonad body type plan, she dropped 36 pounds. It was really amazing working with her. One of the things, as I was mentioning, to heal some of our emotional triggers, what I trained in is called RTT, or rapid transformational therapy. Because I found that unless we got to the underlying emotional triggers, the habits would come back. So I need something to help my clients heal, but it's not going to take years and years. So this is a way to help you get into a really relaxed state. And we go back and we see where your triggers come from. And there's so many aha moments when we do this on the call. And so the clients will say, oh my gosh, I completely forgot, like that happened when I was 12 or whatever. And at the end of the session, we have all these aha moments, and I make a powerful recording that you listen to every day. It's about 15 minutes for 3 weeks, and that instills the new positive mindset and positive thought pattern, and it works amazing. So if you're struggling with emotional eating, it's the best thing. You can ask me about it. Usually it's when I work with my clients one-on-one. One of them said, in 3 years of therapy, we never even touched on this. Can you imagine? She was kind of upset that she had done 3 years of therapy, and that we clicked the can't think of the words. We got the nail right on the head, and in the first RTT session, and she made such huge progress on releasing that. And she had spent so much money on therapy for so many years. So it really works well. I think, as I've mentioned before, our health is the most precious gift we have. So everything we can do to help our health and help us feel better is so, so important. So many people coming with disease and ailments, friends, family, it's so hard. So you have 2 choices. The first option, you can continue, try to figure it out on your own. Some people prefer to do it that way, but if you've been struggling for a long time, feeling frustrated and sabotaging your results, it might be time for you to think about joining my Body Typology membership. So you get a bonus one-on-one consultation with me to start. We figure out your body type. We go over your different ailments and how to overcome them. We learn exactly how to eat right for your body type. I'm going to help you drop the pounds you want to, overcome the emotional triggers. We do a lot of work on that in the group. And then you join a group of motivated women for tons of encouragement and support. So it's open. I haven't opened the membership actually since October. There's been a lot going on, but it's finally open now. And it's less than $1 a day. You also get bi-monthly meetings by Zoom, so you can come get all your questions answered, get the support. There is an amazing membership hub where you go in, there's videos and all the things you need, the community. And I'm offering you a few bonuses. So as I said, you're going to get a one-on-one call with me for 60 minutes worth $120. You're going to get, I'm adding on now, which is new, 3 extra onboarding calls for new members. So I want to make sure that you know all the basics. So the first 3 weeks, we have a call every Monday evening to give you all the information that you need, answer all your questions. You get a digital copy of my manual, cookbook, and food journal. And today and tomorrow, there's an amazing early bird bonus. My body typology book is coming out soon. I'm super excited. I've been working on this for 3 or 4 years now. I am going to send that to you. I'm going to cover the shipping. If you join us, that's covered up, I think, with my picture, you have until tomorrow or Wednesday night at midnight. So sign up and join the membership. And I will also send you my book as soon as it comes out, a signed copy. I give insurance receipts for people in Canada. So the cost of the membership is only $300 a year. So you get 2 months free if you want to sign up for a year, or $30 US a month. Both prices are in US dollars. So for Canadians, it's about $400 or $40 Canadian per month. But the doors are only open till this Saturday, April the 20th. So you have until then the doors will close again. I'm not sure when I will open it up again. If you're saying, Sue-Ann, that's really nice, but I really think for me, one-on coaching would be best. That's perfect. If you decide to work with me one-on-one, you get the initial consultation. That's a full hour and a half. We do 12 weekly Zoom sessions. I include 2 RTT sessions, which take about 2 hours. And for now, I'm also offering a super special. It's $1,497 for the 13 sessions, which is 25% off the original price. And again, you have until Saturday night to take advantage of this amazing offer. If you're ready to transform this area for good, when I send the replay, those that are watching the replay, the link will be in the email for you to join the Body Typology membership. It will take you to this page. You can scroll down, click on the button, and it will take you right to this page to sign up. You have the choice either monthly or yearly. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, just click reply to the email and I'll send you the link. We can set up your initial consultation. I think that the best investment that you can ever make is your investment in your own health. This is a picture of myself and a couple of girlfriends. Every summer we go kayak camping to gorgeous places. And it's just phenomenal to be able to be doing all the things that I love at any age. As I said, I'm no spring chicken. So I invite you to join us and be on the inside so you can enjoy life fully, no matter what age you are. So I thank everyone for watching, either on the live or watching the replay. I hope that you join us in the membership. If you have absolutely any questions at all, just reply to the email and I'll be happy to answer them all. So thanks for being here and have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Have your carbs and eat them too.